بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا، من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. أما بعد. We're now at the section in Kitab Tawheed, the section regarding the issues of magic. Magic and sorcery and witchcraft and all of these types of issues that are linked to that topic. The chapters which we are at now will discuss these topics. So firstly, Bab Ma Ja'a fi Sihr, the chapter regarding what has been mentioned about magic. مناسبة هذا الباب للأبواب السابقة أن الشيخ رحمه الله تعالى في الأبواب السابقة ذكر أنواعا من الشرك ووسائل الشرك، ولما كان السحر نوعا من أنواع الشرك عقد له هذا الباب، لأن السحر لا يمكن الوصول إليه إلا عن طريق الشياطين، فالسحرة يخضعون للشياطين ويستعينون بهم في سحرهم، وهذا شرك بالله عز وجل. The reason why the author Shaykh Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab rahimahullah ta'ala has mentioned this chapter of magic and sorcery here, the connection between it and the previous chapters is that in the previous chapters the Shaykh was talking about various types of shirk and various types of means that can lead on to shirk, various types of activities that are shirk. So here magic is one of those activities which is shirk, because as Shaykh Salih al Fawzaan here says, it is not possible to perform magic and sorcery and these types. It is not possible to do that except through the shayateen. Magic and sorcery and these types of affairs, they only occur through the shayateen. The magicians and the sorcerers, they humiliate themselves in front of the shayateen. They do what the shayateen tell them to do, and then the shayateen will help them to do this magic and sorcery that they're doing. So the magicians have to make themselves like they are worshipping these shayateen, and then the shayateen will help them to do the magic. So they are committing shirk to do this magic. So that's why the author has put this chapter here to talk about shirk and sorcery, because magicians and sorcerers, they only perform that magic and sorcery through these shayateen of the jinn. So what is magic? السحر في اللغة كل ما لطف وخفي سببه. Magic linguistically, in the Arabic language, السحر, it is everything which is hidden and delicate and fine, something which is not easily recognizable. It is concealed, it is hidden, it is not recognizable. So when you come across this magic, you're not aware of its reality. You're not aware of the reality of it. It is hidden, it is concealed, it is very delicate, fine, not easily recognizable. That is what the word magic means in the Arabic language. السحر كل ما لطف وخفي سببه ومنه سمي السحر سحرا في آخر الليل لأنه خفي وكل ما لطف يعني دقة وخفي سببه عن الناس يسمى سحرا في اللغة. And that's why the last part of the night, right at the end of the night, that time of the night is known as sahar, also known as the sahar. And you know this when you are fasting in the morning, you have the suhoor meal at the time of sahar. That time of the night is known as sahar because of the darkness at that time of the night. It's concealed, it's hidden, it's dark, and so therefore it has the same linguistic meaning. Something which is not easily recognizable, something which is concealed, something which is hidden, something which is very delicate and fine and you can't work it out. That's what this magic is. And the Prophet ﷺ also mentioned, وَمِنْهُ قَوْلُهُ صلى الله عليه وسلم إِنَّ مِنَ الْبَيَانِ لَسِحْرًا. البيان معناه الكلام البليغ لأنه يستميل النفوس ويؤثر فيها كما يؤثر السحر. Also the Prophet ﷺ mentioned in a hadith that indeed certain types of speech can be magic, can be sihr, meaning, in English we say magic, but here sihr meaning that it is something which is, again, not recognizable to you, that the speech, it can impact upon the hearts of the people, it can draw in the hearts of the people. And you know that certain types of speech, it can be like that. You hear certain speech, you hear certain things, and they affect you, and they make you emotional, and they control your heart, and they grasp your heart. So certain types of speech can be of that nature, that the speech, it impacts upon you, makes you emotional, makes you do something, makes you either incites you or in other forms of emotion. So the Prophet ﷺ said that certain types of speech can be sihr. It can be something which is delicate and fine, and it grabs the attention of your heart, and it can impact upon you. إلا أنه ليس حراما وكذلك النميمة سميت سحرا لأنها تعمل عمل السحر في الإفساد بين الناس وإحداث البغضاء في القلوب. But the speech which is emotional or it impacts upon the people, even though it's known as sihr here linguistically, it's not haram. That doesn't mean talking in that emotional way is haram. But the point is, linguistically, it has that meaning. Also, namima, spreading tales between people, carrying stories between people to cause corruption between them, is also known as sihr, linguistically. Because when people spread the namima, they spread these tales and stories between the people to cause corruption, then it is, the impact of it is just like the impact of magic. Because what is the impact of magic? What is the result of magic? It causes corruption. Magic causes corruption. And when you spread the stories and the tales between people, you are also causing corruption. So the impact of the corruption, the ifsad, is the same. So in that way, namima is also known as sihr. Because it causes the hatred in the hearts of the people to each other, just like magic can do. Magic, when it impacts, it could cause hatred between the husband and the wife, between the people one to another. وَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ سِحْرًا فِي الْحَقِيقَةِ. And when you spread namima, storytelling between the people, it's not actually magic, but the example is given, it's like magic, because it causes corruption just like magic causes corruption. So this is all just to highlight that the word sihr in the Arabic language, it is something fine, it is something delicate, it is something hidden, something concealed, something not very easily recognizable, and it causes the corruption between the people, the magic itself. The reason why magic is concealed and hidden is why? It's obvious. Because when magic occurs, you can't work out how this magic occurred. Magic is done by these magicians, done by the shayateen that they use, and a normal person, you can't work it out. You don't know how this magic has happened, what's going on. It's hidden, it's concealed. And therefore, because we cannot work out what these means are, how this magic has occurred, it is concealed. فالسحر تحصل أو يحصل بأمور خفية لا تدركها الأبصار. So magic occurs by these concealed ways that our eyesight, our understanding cannot grasp what these concealed ways are that these magicians, these individuals do with the shayateen. So magic is something concealed in that way. أما تعريفه في الشرع. As for the meaning of magic legislatively, in the Sharia, what do we mean by magic when we talk about magic Islamically? All of that was the description of magic in the Arabic language. Linguistically, what does it mean? Now, what do we talk about? What do we mean when we say magic, Islamically, what are we talking about? فالسحر عبارة عن عزائم ورقى وعقد يؤثر وأدوية يؤثر في بدن المسحور بالقتل أو بالمرض أو بالإخلال بعقله أو يفرق بين الزوجين أو يأخذ الزوج عن زوجته فلا يستطيع الوصول إليها. قال تعالى ومن شر النفاثات في العقد يعني السواحر والساحرات. Magic, what we mean by it is, Islamically, it can be amulets, it can be knots, it can be strings, it can be liquids, the potions, the liquids, the strings, the necklaces, the knots. All of these things are used by the magicians to impact upon the one they are doing magic on. So they might tie knots and blow into something, and that makes magic. They might have some amulet or some necklace type of thing, they do something with it to make magic. They might have some liquids and potions that they mix together, and they make that to the magic. All of these are what we are talking about when we say magic. All of these types of things they do the magic with. And as a consequence, when they use those things to do the magic, it will impact upon the person who the magic goes on to. It could make that person ill. They could physically become ill in their body. It could even lead to that person dying. The magic may end up being so strong that the person dies from it. It could be that the magic affects that person, not that he becomes physically ill or that he dies, but that his mind is taken away. His mind is taken away, he no longer knows what he's doing, he doesn't understand anything. His mind is blanked out by the magic. That could occur. Also the magic, it can split between the husband and the wife. There may be magic that causes the split or the distancing between the husband and the wife, so that they cannot have the relation. And this is something which Allah mentioned to us in the Qur'an, that we are to seek refuge in Allah. As we mentioned the chapter before, al-isti'adha, seeking refuge in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the magicians and the sorceresses. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. And then what? Where's the... Then, alright, so one at a time. First ayah is قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. Say that I seek refuge in the Lord of the daybreak, in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then,
from what He's created,
مِن شَرِّ مَا خَلَقَ, from what He has created, from the evil that may exist. Then, وَمِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ. What does that one mean?
When the sun, during the darkness that is caused because of the set of the sun.
Aywa. So one of the in the books of tafsir they mention the مِن شَرِّ غَاسِقٍ إِذَا وَقَبَ, i.e. when the night comes. When the darkness comes of the night, that's when the shayateen they come out. That's when it's dark and you can't see anything, something evil may occur to you. So you seek refuge in Allah from that, from the darkness when it arises, when it appears, because the shayateen may be out at that time, other evil affairs may occur to you when you can't see anything. So you seek refuge in Allah from that. Then, وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ, and from the evil of those who blow into their knots. The ones who blow into the knots, the sorceresses, the sahirat, the sorceress, the magicians. Here Allah is telling us to seek refuge in Him, to ask Allah for protection from these people, these magicians, these sorceresses, these sorcerers who blow into their knots and they cause the magic on the people. So that is something Allah commanded us to do in the Quran, told us to seek the refuge in Him from the magicians and their evil. فالساحر يعقد العقد بالخيط ثم ينفث فيها من ريقه. So a magician might tie up some knots and then he spits into it with his saliva, وَيَسْتَعِينُ بِالشَّيْطَانِ, and he asks the shayateen of the jinn to come and help him with this. وَيُؤَثِّرُ هَذَا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ فِي الْمَسْحُورِ, and then by the permission of Allah, this is from the decree and a test upon the people, that this then, these knots that he ties up the magician and the shayateen of the jinn help him, and he blows into it and he spits into it, this can cause the magic on a particular person by the permission of Allah. And that person then may be killed by that magic, he may become ill. بإذن الله يؤثر هذا بإذن الله في المسحور إما قتلا وإما مرضا وإما تفريقا بينه وبين حبيبه وإما أن يمنعه عن زوجته فلا يستطيع الوصول إليها. So the person may be killed. That could be the impact of the magic so severe. The person may become ill. It may cause that person to be distanced and split from his friends. Causes a splitting in his heart from his brothers. That could occur in the magic. Or between himself and his wife. The splitting occurs and the distancing of the hearts occurs as a consequence of this magic, and he's no longer able to have the relations with her. وَقَدْ سُحِرَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم. And the Prophet ﷺ had magic done to him. وَقَدْ سُحِرَ النَّبِيُّ صَلَّى اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وسلم وَأَثَّرَ فِيهِ السِّحْرِ, and the magic had an impact upon him. وصار عليه الصلاة والسلام يخيل إليه أنه فعل شيء ولم يكن يفعله أو ولم يكن فعله. That when the Prophet ﷺ had magic done to him, it impacted upon him to the extent that he would imagine or think that he had done something, and in reality he hadn't done it. This was the impact of the magic, that he would consider or think that he's just done something, but he hadn't actually done that thing. This was the impact playing upon the mind. The magic, how it impacts. وَرَقَاهُ جِبْرِيلٌ فَبَرِئَ بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, and then as it's known, Jibreel alayhi salam did the ruqya upon the Prophet sallallahu, and he was cured from it afterwards. The narration is mentioned how they found the source of it, etc.
So, Shaykh, sorry, can I ask a question?
If we complete this section then, huh? فَالسِّحْرُ لَهُ حَقِيقَةٌ وَيُؤَثِّرُ فِي بَدَنِ الْمَسْحُورِ وَلَكِنَّهُ لَا يُؤَثِّرُ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ الْقَدَرِ كما قال تعالى وما هم بضارين به من أحد إلا بإذن الله أي إذن الله القدري الكوني. So the magic is real. Magic is something real, and it can impact. It has an impact upon the body, upon the person who the magic is placed on. And however, magic cannot impact upon anyone unless it is by the decree of Allah. If it is decreed by Allah, the decree of the creational sense, the al-irada al-kawniyya, the decree bi-idhnillah al-qadari, in the creational sense of the decree, if Allah decrees for that to happen, then it will occur. So that can then occur, and that's mentioned in the Quran, that they will not harm anyone. وَمَا هُمْ بِضَارِّينَ بِهِ مِنْ أَحَدٍ إِلَّا بِإِذْنِ اللَّهِ, except by the permission of Allah. وقد ذكر العلماء أن السحر المحرم على نوعين. The scholars have mentioned that this haram magic is two types. This magic, this impermissible haram magic, it is two types. There are two types of it. One is سحر حقيقي وهو الذي ذكرناه. One is the real magic, actual magic, and that is what we've just been talking about. They use the knots, they use the strings, they use the necklaces, they blow into it, spit into it, they do these things, they use liquids and potions, they make all of these things, and they do the real magic upon people. Haram. Second type of magic is النوع الثاني. What is the second type?
It's fake magic, fake one, which is not real.
But how?
Illusionary magic.
Like illusionary magic. النوع الثاني سحر تخييلي. That it is, like you say, illusionary magic. Perhaps that is the English term. Do you have anything here? So you could say takhyili, meaning that it's what you perceive, like an illusion to you. And this is ليس له حقيقة. This type of magic isn't actual. It's not real. It's not really magic happening. إنما هو خيال وشعوذة. It is an illusion to the mind. People, they do things sometimes and they make like an illusion. It looks like something very amazing or strange is happening, magic, how can he be doing this? But he's not really doing anything magic, it's a type of illusion that he performs. And so it plays with your mind and you perceive that something is occurring from this magic. وَهُوَ مَا يُسَمَّى بِالْقُمْرَةِ فَالسَّاحِرُ يُخَيِّلُ لِلنَّاسِ شَيْءٍ وَهُوَ لَيْسَ حَقِيقَةً. So the magician may make some sort of illusion to the people and it's not real, but it's an illusionary type of this magic. People perceive it like that. كَأَنْ يُخَيِّلَ لِلنَّاسِ أَنَّهُ دَخَلَ فِي النَّارِ. For example, certain magicians, they may show to the people that they can walk through fire. But it may be some sort of illusion that they do. That they are not actually being burnt and going into the flames. There is some way around it. Some illusion that they are portraying to the people that they are walking into the fire. أو يخيل للناس أنه يمشي على حبل وهو ليس كذلك. Or sometimes that he can walk upon like a tightrope type of thing. He may be able to walk upon this and it's not real. It's an illusion that he performs. أو يخيل للناس أنه أو أن السيارة تمشي على بطنه. Sometimes they may do some illusion where they lie down and they let a car drive over the top of them. The wheels of the car, you see it going over the top of them. But it's some type of illusion that they are performing. وليس كذلك. أو يخيل للناس أنه يطعن نفسه بالسلاح. Sometimes you see them getting knives and things and stabbing themselves. They're not really killing themselves. The knife isn't going into their heart. It's an illusion that they perform somehow. These are illusions that they do to show to the people that they can do these things, but they're not doing them. والحقيقة أنه عمل شيئا من التخييل والقمرة فأثر على الأبصار. The reality is he has done something from illusion which impacts upon the eyesight. This illusion goes onto the eyes and you can't see what's going on, and this is what you then see. You see the illusion happening. So he does something to perform the illusion on the eyes of the people. When they see that, they see it as he really is doing those things, but it's some type of illusion. The magicians of Pharaoh. The magicians of Pharaoh, it is mentioned. كما قال الله تعالى في قوم فرعون سحروا أعين الناس واسترهبوهم وجاءوا بسحر عظيم. That they made illusion upon the eyes of the people and they caused them to fear and they came with a great magic. فَسَحَرُوا الْأَعْيُنْ فَقَطْ. So here the Shaykh says, the ayah tells us they only made the illusion upon the eyes of the people who were looking. Those magicians at the time of Pharaoh, when they did their magic, it was a type of illusion. When the people looked, it looked like it really was happening what they were doing. So they made the illusion onto the eyes of the people when they saw that. كما قال تعالى نعم فسحروا الأعين فقط وذلك بما يعملونه من الحيل. So they perform these tricks and these deceptions which makes it look like to the eyes watching that this is something amazing magic happening. ويجعلون في العصي التي معهم مواد تحركها وتجعل العصا كأنها حية وهي ليست كذلك. So they, for example, those magicians of Pharaoh, they would put into their sticks certain chemicals that would react and make the sticks move. You know, now you can get certain chemicals, you put chemicals together and this bottle will jump up and explode by itself. You will say, look, I will make it jump up and explode. You put chemicals in there which react and it moves and it explodes and it falls. So the same way the Shaykh says they put certain chemicals, certain liquids and chemicals into their sticks which reacted and made the sticks like mini explosions as you would imagine now with chemistry, and they move around and they shake around. So it looks like to the people they made them into snakes. The illusion appears to the people that they've become snakes. These were sticks of wood, we saw them. Now they are moving around everywhere. But it's in reality because of certain chemicals and things they put into them that causes the reaction and makes them to move around and shake around, makes them look like they are now snakes moving. So it was illusion that they did. To make those sticks look like they are snakes. وَتَجْعَلُ الْعَصَى كَأَنَّهَا حَيَّةٌ وَهِيَ لَيْسَتْ كَذَلِكَ كَمَا قَالَ تَعَالَى فَإِذَا حِبَالُهُمْ وَعَصِيُّهُمْ يُخَيَّلُ إِلَيْهِ مِنْ سِحْرِهِمْ أَنَّهَا تَسْعَى. Allah mentioned in the Qur'an that their ropes and their sticks, it was an illusion that they were magic and they were moving around. It was an illusion that they created. So this was one of the examples of these illusionary type of magic. وَأَنْكَرَتِ الْمُعْتَزِلَةِ, some of the groups of deviation, they don't believe in the first type of magic, the real magic, when they get the knots and the things and they blow into them and they make magic on people. Some of the groups of deviation said that type of magic doesn't exist. أنكرت المعتزلة النوع الأول مع أن النوع الأول هو الخطير وقالوا السحر كله تخيلي. So some of the people of innovation like the Mu'tazila, they said the real magic, the actual magic doesn't exist. It's all just illusions. There's no reality to any of it. And that the Shaykh says, they denied that real magic, even though the real magic is the one that is actually dangerous. That real magic is the one that impacts upon people and causes them to die or become ill or to lose their minds. That is the real magic that does that. Yet these deviants, the Mu'tazila, they claim that there is no reality in magic. Rather there is. The Shaykh says, هذا غير صحيح. يعني كلام المعتزلة. He says this is not true. What the Mu'tazila they say, that there is no real magic. There is. لأنه لو كان كذلك لما أثر في المسحور ولما قتل المسحور ولما أمرضه ولما فرق بينه وبين زوجه. If it was the case that there is no real magic, then all of these actual consequences that you see in reality, people who have had magic done to them, that they may have these certain types of illnesses, or they may lose their minds, or they may die from it, or they split from themselves and their wife. Certain types of these incidents in reality show to you there is a reality of magic. فدل على أنه حقيقي وعمل شيطاني لأنه عقد وعزائم. So this therefore indicates that it is real. And it is done with these knots and done with these strings and other things. It is a real form of magic. And that is why Allah told us in the Qur'an to seek refuge, to ask Allah for protection from it. Because it is real. It is a real magic, and that's why Allah told us to seek protection from it. To ask Allah for protection from that real magic. قُلْ أَعُوذُ بِرَبِّ الْفَلَقِ. When you get to the ayah, وَمِن شَرِّ النَّفَّاثَاتِ فِي الْعُقَدِ. And you seek refuge in Allah from the evil of those who blow into their knots. The magicians, the sorceresses, and the sorcerers. In this chapter now, and these following chapters therefore, after that introduction of magic, what we're going to see is two things. والذي ذكره الشيخ في هذا الباب من النصوص على نوعين. النوع الأول في حكم السحر والنوع الثاني في حكم الساحر. And now in this chapter we are going to see two types of texts. Some of these evidences are going to tell us what is the ruling on magic. What is the ruling on magic? The other texts are going to tell us what is the ruling on the magician. What's the ruling Islamically about magic, and what's the ruling Islamically about the magician. So firstly we have here وَقَوْلُ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا لَمَنِ اشْتَرَاهُ مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. قول الله تعالى وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا, that indeed they knew. Who knew? This ayah is talking about the Jews. أي اليهود, لأن الآية في سياق الآيات التي تتحدث عن اليهود. So this ayah is talking about the Jews. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا أي تحققوا. They knew for definite. What did they know for definite? لَمَنِ اشْتَرَاهُ, i.e. the one who abandons the Torah and takes up this magic instead. مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. That this person would not have any reward or any position left in paradise in the hereafter. That person would not have any portion. Chance, he wouldn't have any chance, he wouldn't have any portion. A portion, you have portions for the people. This is your portion, this is his portion. He wouldn't have any portion in the hereafter in paradise. There would be no place for him in paradise. They knew that for certainty, and they knew that for definite. ما له في الآخرة من خلاق, أي الساحر ليس له نصيب من الجنة. He doesn't have any chance in paradise. He doesn't have any portion for himself in paradise. وَهَذَا دَلِيلٌ عَلَى أَنَّهُ كَافِرٌ. This ayah therefore is an evidence that the magician is a kafir. If the ayah is telling us the one who goes on to magic does not have any place in paradise, then where is his place? In hellfire. This shows to us that the magician is a kafir. وَهَذَا دَلِيلٌ عَلَى أَنَّهُ كَافِرٌ فَالسِّحْرُ كُفْرٌ بِاللَّهِ عَزَّ وَجَلَّ. So magic, it is disbelief in Allah. It is kufr in Allah. وَذَلِكَ مِنْ عِدَّةِ مَوَاضِعٍ فِي الْآيَةِ. This can be shown from several places in the verse. أولا قوله وما كفر سليمان ولكن الشياطين كفروا يعلمون الناس السحر. That Sulaiman did not disbelieve, rather the shayateen, they are the ones who disbelieved. They are the ones teaching the magic. So the ones who disbelieved are the ones engaging in the magic. That is one, showing you that they are kafir. ثانيا قوله وما يعلمان من أحد حتى يقولا أي الملكان إنما نحن فتنة فلا تكفر. فلا تكفر. That we are a trial upon you, so do not disbelieve. I.e., taking up the magic, becoming a magician would mean that you disbelieve. كفر, كافر. ثالثا ولقد علموا لمن اشتراه أي السحر ما له في الآخرة من خلاق. They knew definitely that whoever takes up this magic, does this magic, exchanges the guidance, the Torah that they had then, removes that and takes magic instead, there would be no part for that person in paradise. There would be no place for that person in paradise. أي ما له في الآخرة من خلاق أي نصيب من الجنة. فمقتضى ذلك أن عمله باطل حبطت أعماله فكفر. So this therefore indicates that his actions are false. All of his actions are gone because of this magic. They are destroyed and he is upon kufr. So that is the first ayah. وَلَقَدْ عَلِمُوا لَمَنِ اشْتَرَاهُ مَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَاقٍ. They indeed knew with certainty that whomsoever takes the magic, does the magic in exchange for the Torah which they had, the guidance, then that person would not have any place in paradise. The second ayah, وَقَوْلُهُ يُؤْمِنُونَ بِالْجِبْتِ وَالطَّاغُوتِ. يؤمنون بالجبت والطاغوت. قال عمر الجبت السحر والطاغوت الشيطان. The author now mentions this narration. يؤمنون بالجبت والطاغوت. And that was when it's mentioned ألم تر إلى الذين أوتوا نصيبا من الكتاب يؤمنون بالجبت والطاغوت. Have you not seen those who were given a portion of the book? They were given the revelation, the Torah. Yet they believe in the jibt, i.e. magic, and the taghut, i.e. the shaitan. ذكر تفسير الجبت والطاغوت بقوله قال عمر الجبت السحر فاليهود يؤمنون بالسحر وهو كفر بالله والطاغوت الشيطان أي هو رأس الطواغيت والطاغوت مشتق من الطغيان وهو مجاوزة الحد كما سبق. So they believe in magic and they believe and follow the shaitan, the head of all of those tawaghit, the ones who have transgressed the boundaries. وقال جابر الطواغيت كهان كان ينزل عليهم الشيطان في كل حي واحد. Jabir radiallahu anhu said that the tawaghit, the taghut, they are the sorcerers that the shayateen used to come to. The shayateen, the devils, they used to come to these sorcerers. Jabir says the tawaghit, it's them sorcerers. They are the tawaghit, the ones who the shayateen used to come to. في كل حي منهم واحد. In every area they used to have one of these. Al-Kahin huwa alladhi yadda'i ilm al-ghayb. These sorcerers, they were the ones who used to claim that they have knowledge of the unseen. They used to claim that they have knowledge of the unseen. وكانوا في الجاهلية يتخذون حكاما من الكهان يحكمون بين الناس. In times of Jahiliyyah, in the areas where they lived in their tribes, these sorcerers, they used to have one in every area, in every tribe. These sorcerers who the shayateen used to go to, and these sorcerers and fortune tellers, these magicians, they used to get their information from the shayateen. The people in that area would look up to these sorcerers, and they would go to the sorcerers to be like the judge for all of their issues. They would go back to the sorcerers and the magicians and tell them to be the ruler and to judge in the issues and whatever disputes and whatever has happened. So they used to have these magicians and these sorcerers. كان هؤلاء الكهان تنزل عليهم الشياطين التي تسترق السمع. These particular sorcerers, they used to have the shayateen coming to them. And you know the narration about the shayateen, we did it before. When they climb on top of each other's backs, and they get close to the heavens, and when they get to that, they listen to try to steal some information. What is being said in the heavens. And sometimes they manage to do it, and they pass it on to the next one, who passes it on, passes it on, until it comes to the bottom one. That shaitan then comes to the sorcerer and tells him, this is what we heard from the heavens. And that is truth. What they've stolen from the heavens is truth. So this sorcerer then starts telling the people all of his magic and his lies and his fabrications, all of the lies. But out of all of the lies, in the middle he puts this truth in there as well. So he tells 100 lies, for example. 100 different lies causes corruption amongst the people. But in amongst all of those lies, he puts this one truth in there. So when the people hear all of these things, afterwards they go away, none of it comes true except one thing. That one thing which comes true, that's what the people remember. They say, look, that one thing he told us, it happened. That is the one thing that he has stolen from the shayateen who stole it from, or he has taken it from the shayateen who stole it from the heavens. So the people become convinced with him. They say, look, he told us it was going to happen like this, and that's how it happened. Because that is the one truth, he mixes in with all of his lies. And so the people become confused, and they become misguided because of that one lie. That's where we'll conclude today. Next week we'll carry on. This lesson will take a few lessons now. 4 or 5 or 6 lessons talking about all of these issues of magic. So next week inshallah we'll carry on with more details about these sorcerers and these fortune tellers and what they do and how they get this information from the shayateen. Inshallah we'll carry on with that from next week at the same time, 8 o'clock or after the prayer, 8:15 roughly. وصلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.
So the knots that they tie, is it going to be hidden from the person that has been said in the magic?
The knots, they tie the knots and they'll be hidden somewhere.
Not in the compound of where he lives, or it's not necessary. Is it?
It's not necessary that the knot has to be at that person's place. It could be somewhere else hidden.
Even maybe outside the country sometimes.
Allah alam, how it can be where, outside the country or what. But it doesn't necessitate it's in the person's home. When the Prophet ﷺ found the item, where was it?
It was underneath the bottom of a well.
Of a well, bottom of the well. So it doesn't have to be in your home that these knots are hidden away. Somewhere, it could be somewhere else. But Allah alam, where and how far, other countries or how that works. But the magicians, they tie these knots and they will blow into them and they may conceal them somewhere. And that can be a means of the magic upon a person. But remember, we're going to talk about this in the next few lessons too. It doesn't mean that every time something happens to you, straight away you think it's magic. One day somebody gets up and they've got a cold, they say somebody's doing magic to me. But this isn't the way. Shaykh Salih al Fawzaan, he said people have too many whispers. People have too many whispers in their head. You feel a bit bad, you feel a bit ill for maybe a week or something, and you feel very weak, you think that's it, it must be magic, somebody did magic to me. And 2 days later, alhamdulillah, you're playing football again. So don't be with the whispers every time something happens, magic. Yes, it is real, and it can happen, but don't let whispers come to you all the time. Everything happens, it has to be magic every time. No.
It can affect the uptake of the person.
It can do these things. But even if somebody has a cold, it can affect your appetite. That's the thing to remember. These things, yes, magic can do that. But sometimes you might just be ill. Maybe you got food poisoning. You had some doner kebab with the rats on it or something, and then you got ill. So it doesn't have to be all the time magic. Don't get whispers all the time straight away. It has to be magic. Rather, you look into the affair.
So the separation of wife and husband is for sure a magic. If, for example, you were married before.
No, not for sure. No.
I mean, like, you were married and then you got divorced.
No, it's not for sure. It's not.
No, I'm coming to the point.
Aywa.
You got married before. You divorced. Then you married second wife. Same place. Previous wife, it just within like around the road. And your second wife and you start fighting. They start divorce. You don't want to see her, hatred all the time.
No, it doesn't necessitate. Still doesn't necessitate. It doesn't necessitate it. It could be. Magic is real, it could be. But you can't assume default it has to be magic. Maybe the man is not practicing, he doesn't pray and he's always a bad man. It could be just that. It doesn't have to be straight away you think it has to be magic.
He's connected to the masjid, he goes to the masjid.
Even then, it doesn't necessitate. It doesn't necessitate straight away you say that it has to be magic. You know,
when you are on ruqyah,
when
somebody reads ruqyah on you, is it possible to see somebody you sometimes you don't speak, but you close your eyes. Some sheikhs will tell you close your eyes, then you close your eyes. Somebody you know, a workmate, you see like a TV doing something, hiding something somewhere, and it's just when the Qur'an is read on you, you can only realize that. But once you open the eyes, it's not possible to see the person doing something.
Allah Alam. We'll have to come to more details about those types of affairs. This type of issue now about curing magic, how to cure magic. Some people, they have ways which are not permissible in the first place. And these types of images and things that you see are normally not from the correct way of curing magic. They sometimes use other jinn. They say these are good jinn. They are going to help us to get rid of the magic from the bad jinn. And they come and they give you visions and this is heard, we've heard about this. They bring sometimes children and the children close their eyes, they have visions. These types of things are not legitimate. This isn't the cure of magic. But that will come to later when we come to all the sections and then about the curing of magic. Inshallah. So we'll have to leave it there today. We'll carry on next week, inshallah.